Did Netflix create the baseball version of Hard Knocks? Do the Angels have two future Hall of Famers in Anaheim? Plus, Mr. 69 talks about the latest summer fashions. All that and more next. What is going on, everybody? I am James the Greek, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Closers. Without further ado, let's get it started. Let's bring in Mr. 69, David Ardsma. DA, what is going on, pal?
How are you doing, James? And in honor of Pittsburgh getting rid of their Roberto Clemente sign, I'm wearing my Roberto Clemente shirt, but they brought back the sign. So thank God all the world has been restored. I just don't understand when you take, I've never agreed in stadiums when you take away like something honoring somebody, like don't take it away, move it somewhere else. Sorry, I'm hitting the mic and everything, but move it. They take away Roberto Clemente big sign in right field for an advertisement, which I get, and then they just don't put it anywhere else. I don't understand that stuff. Anyways, in honor of our boy Roberto Clemente, I'm wearing this.
It's actually funny because yesterday I got a baseball card with Roberto Clemente on it. My first Roberto Clemente baseball card.
Really? Why? What were you? Did you buy it, or were you opening a pack and it was an old school card?
I was on Whatnot, and somebody had a $2, like all-star Roberto Clemente, and I'm like, you know what? For $3, why not?
Hell yeah!
But
that's a good find.
Yeah, it's so good. Not good for Pittsburgh that they moved that sign. Maybe they can actually, put the sign somewhere in there. Maybe they can bring in, a couple of players that can actually hit. They got some problems in Pittsburgh right now.
They got a few problems. They got a few problems drawing in fans. They got a few problems playing baseball. They got a few problems doing everything.
Yeah, it's not a good situation. Oh, I'm sure we'll get to that during the season because they're going to be bad for quite a while, unfortunately. It's funny because the one guy that we said, hey, this is the guy that has to come up big in order for them to compete. Yeah, he didn't even get to start the season. Poor Jared Jones.
So there you go. That's why they're not competing. Well, that's part of it.
Yeah, it's a big part of it.
One of the worst offenses in baseball.
Yep. Now, Pittsburgh, though, they have some interesting jerseys. They have their, traditional stuff, and then they have those beautiful, I love them, those yellow City Connect jerseys. What do you think of those?
So you like the Pittsburgh City Connect?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Here's the thing with me. I like their City Connect jersey. I like the Pittsburgh. I think it's really simple, which I'm good with. My only issue with that is it's basically their yellow jersey they already have with just a tiny little change. I'm okay with that one. I don't love it. I'm okay with it. I think they could have done better with that.
Yeah, it's not the greatest of all of them. I happen to think the best City Connect would be the New York Mets City Connect. I happen to really like those. I know a lot of people hate them, but the gray and the purple.
Yeah, I don't like them.
I love them.
I don't mind them, but I don't like them. They're not enough Mets. They're New York City, but they're a lot more to me like a playoff of the Yankees. They're gray Yankees.
Well,
but I get it though too, like because it's like the Giants a little bit too, and I think they could have done a better job of playing onto Brooklyn Giant, and then the New York Giants, and then with the 7 line. I think they could have done a lot more with that as their feature than gray New York Yankees.
Well, okay. Well, there's a lot of new City Connect jerseys, and I know you have some strong feelings on this. So which ones do you like? Which ones do you hate? Like right now, we're looking at the Marlins orange ones. I think those are pretty cool. I have no problem with those.
They're changing them.
They're changing those. Those are the old Boston, the yellow with the blue letters.
And so if you pause the video there, I love it. I am completely dig this one because this goes straight to the Boston Marathon. It's that direct connection to it. Love it. They did make a change this year, though. They're going to make the change to the Fenway. The Green Monster Red Sox.
Green.
And I love it. The Green Monster Green Monster color Fenway green. I love the change. But I would have been totally fine with keeping this too. And I do like this. I'm going to say this. I love when a team goes for it. And I'm saying team. I don't think the teams had a whole lot to do with this, to be honest. I think this is Nike, and then like they go, oh, the team thing. No, I think Nike kind of probably took the realm of all this. Like this is the Giants. A lot better than the new one this year. I still don't like it. I love that they have the Golden Gate Bridge and the fog, and I like the idea of that. But I think this connects with the city a hell lot more than that one. Now here, Nationals, love it. This is one of my favorites. The Cherry Blossom.
Cherry Blossom Nationals is beautiful.
Nationals beautiful. The WASH I'm not a big fan of because like people don't necessarily connect Washington with the maybe it's like maybe they could have done something different with that. But the cherry blossoms and the color, awesome. This one too, South Side, the like pinstripes, like it's a suit, like it's like gangster. This is like they killed these cool couple jerseys, and now they're changing them, and it looks absolutely horrible. Have you seen the White Sox one, the new White Sox jersey?
No, I haven't.
It is a giveaway. It looks like okay. So we'll talk about this. This is the Diamondbacks. Love it. It's snake in Spanish. Dude, down here in Arizona, these jerseys are everywhere. Everywhere.
Really?
It's super simple, but it's the color of like the desert. It's it's serpentine. Dude, like it's so cool, and like everybody loves it. I want one of those jerseys. There you go. There's the new Red Sox one. I dig it, man. I love it because it's now that's City Connect. That's the team. That's the city. It's the writing on the green monster. It's the color of Fenway.
I would have liked to have seen a little bit, just a tiny bit of red somewhere in that new Red Sox jersey. Just, I don't know where, maybe the piping on the sleeves.
I would have gone piping, maybe a little pipe on it, maybe a pipe like on the sleeve or like right down the middle or something. But I'll say this, without the red, I'm okay with it because it's such an homage to the stadium.
Yeah,
and it nails it.
Yeah, you know what it's for. You understand the connection between the jersey and the team and the city. The Green Monster, you think about Fenway, you think about the Red Sox, you think about Ted Williams, the Green Monster, the 2004, bums. That's what you think about. So I have no problem with this one. And I like the Boston Marathon one. I think Boston might have done the best job on the City Connect jerseys.
The best job so far and one of the best first ones. And like totally different yellow and blue. Like what the hell with Boston Red Sox? But then they nailed it. And then this one, they come back with like version number 2, killed it. The White Sox, South Side. That's it. That is who you recognize. We are the South Side. We're not Northsiders. We are the South Side. We gangsters. That black with the pinstripe, beautiful. Now they're basically. It looks like a Chicago Bulls giveaway jersey. It looks like it's a Chicago Bulls jersey that they made into a baseball jersey, and it looks brutal. And it's just, it doesn't. I understand the connection, like. Reinsdorf owns the Bulls, owns the White Sox. Like, okay, but it's basically just it's a Bulls jersey, and like that's not City Connect. Yeah. That's not connected with the city. That's another team. That's their marketing. That's their stuff. There's so many cool things you can do with the city of Chicago. So many neat things, and they have absolutely failed with it. The Cubs did a good one with Wrigleyville. That's connecting with them. It's not the best, and Wrigleyville's a lot to put on the front, but again, it's cool. And did a good job. The Giants one in particular, though. So the Giants, the first one was like not excited about it, but you get it. And then they come out with this just brutal. They made the debut with the jersey. There you go. This looks like a kid designed it. It looks like it's made for 9-year-olds. Like, yay, Giants. The big thing was they're connecting with the music and the sound of the city, and that's what the waves are. Like, it's supposed to be the sound waves of the city, and like this is supposed to be like the colors of like Haight-Ashbury and the sound and stuff. Now the glove on the jersey sleeve, there's a cool little glove that looks like a 1970s, 60s music poster. It's supposed to be like the psychedelic music, but again, so I heard somebody talking about this, Will Clark talking about this and stuff. Like now you're celebrating like LSD and acid, dropping acid, and that whole music scene. That's what they're celebrating, was the vibrant colors and stuff of like the 60s and 70s, which they don't even hit, by the way.
Yeah.
they don't even get the feel of that. It looks to me like a graffitied, trying to be hip, trendy jersey, calling it the music industry jersey. Like, there's so many cool aspects of San Francisco. There's so many neat things, and you're going with the music aspect, which I get, but you
This looks
don't even nail it. Like, give me a true, at least do it like it's 1970s. This is not the script is not 1970s. Give me a 1970s music LSD version of it, and I bet you would probably kill it. Like,
this
what would a
looks
Jimi Hendrix jersey look like?
it would have stunk of weed. It would have been
Well,
made of hemp.
hence
Uh,
look like.
oh, but you look at this Giants jersey and it looks like the Kevin Johnson Phoenix Suns from the 90s. But you
Yes.
but you said something interesting before, that it looks like a kid designed it. But that's who they're trying to sell to, Dave. They're not trying to sell jerseys to me. They're not trying to sell jerseys to you. They're
I don't
trying
know
to
if they are. I don't know. When you look at Fenway Park, when you look at the Red Sox jersey, that's not to kids. When you look at a lot of these South Side, that's not to kids.
Well, this
You're,
is the
you're
problem. This is the problem that Major League Baseball has as a whole. They don't know how to appeal to kids. They haven't been able to do that in 50 years. So that's why there's this problem between some teams trying to appeal to kids and some teams trying to appeal to the traditionalists, like they're doing in Boston. The Mets are kind of in between. The Yankees, they just refuse to have any sort of new type of jersey, which I can give them credit for. I don't like giving the Yankees credit, but I can give them credit for that.
I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Like, if you want to stick with your tradition, and I love it too. The only time they've ever worn a throwback jersey, they've worn it once. Do you remember?
Was it the original with the NY block lettering?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember why?
I don't remember why.
They went to Fenway, and it was the anniversary of Fenway Park.
Okay,
And
cool.
Fenway, they shut down all the scoreboards. They shut down all the overhead announcements. They did no more music. They did an organ, and they did blow horns to announce the players. And they went official like 1906, whatever the game was. And that's the only time in Yankee history they've ever worn a throwback. I'm probably wrong with this.
Got it. Organs and
and
blowing. Continue.
I love it. I think it's freaking awesome. The Astros, absolutely brutal uniform now. They had that cool Space City one,
Yep.
which is great. It connects and it's cool and it's different. Now they went like basically Space City 1980s version, which is okay. The Nationals one pisses me off when they took that away. Now it's like it's just the DC. Okay, I get that. They probably should have done DC with that pot with the cherry blossoms, but now it's DC. But the whole front is basically the map of the city.
No, it's crap.
We talked about the Giants. The Dodgers one is brutal. The Dodgers original one was just a blue Dodgers jersey, which you wore in spring training anyways, which made no sense. Now it's kind of like a spacey, kind of futuristic Los Angeles Dodgers thing. Minnesota.
It looked like those awful futuristic jerseys that they had in the 90s that Griffey wore.
That Griffey design, right? I will try to finish this here, but like a couple other ones, Minnesota, I don't mind because it's like the blue, the lake and the North Star and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool with that. Toronto's brutal, it's just a black jersey with a skyline. The Lou for St. Louis basically is like you're not even trying. Cleveland's kind of cool. Detroit's brutal with a hat that just says Detroit. Like are you? I feel like some of these like people aren't trying. Like Tampa Bay, it's like I'm like half on Tampa Bay because it's supposed to be like skater culture, which I don't know if that's a huge deal in Tampa Bay, but like that's what they call like the skater. It's supposed to look like skateboard and all that stuff. The Mets, again, we talked about that. I don't mind it. I just feel like there could have been a little bit more different.
But they used the purple because of the 7 line. The 7 line, the train, that 7 is purple. So I can see
the purple was just the tube, right? Like just the accent color. They could have made that a little bit more really. The Philadelphia were just as Philly.
Yeah.
Like,
listen, some of them are hits, some of them are misses. What I find most
here's the problem is the first round were hits.
Yeah.
Now a lot of them, almost every jersey's black or dark, and they're supposed to be home jerseys, and they're all like they're just kind of consistent. misses where I don't think they're really getting the essence of the city and the whole idea of the city connect. Like the Braves one, which is great. You want to know what's great? Because it's basically the old Hank Aaron jersey.
Yeah.
Like you love it. I do love, okay, a couple I've got to say. San Diego. Totally unique, totally different. You're talking about like kid stuff. Like that's the only jersey that JD has asked for.
Really?
Is that San Diego jersey? And I told him I do 100%. Like I
I'll
love
send him
that
one.
jersey. It's so unique, so different.
What size is he?
I don't know, like a kid's XL.
What does he want, Merrill?
No, he just wanted the jersey.
All right, I got him.
He has it.
Oh, all right, never mind then.
But anyways, there's so many versions of these jerseys, like the Rockies. Just shoot yourself.
God, they're terrible.
The old Rockies with the Rocky, which I get why you do, but on reality, it just looks like a softball jersey. And then the new Rockies one, which I get, which is closer to what they should be doing, is still, it just looks like it looks like a giveaway it looks like a giveaway shirt.
Explain to me how someone who has nothing but t-shirts and flip-flops has this kind of passion for jerseys, because you are a fashion victim.
I am crazy passionate about team jerseys. I'm weirdly passionate about this. I still say this. I swear to a T. I think a team should every season pick a decade for every month of if they've been around for 60 years. I mean, almost every team has been around for 60 years minus a couple. Every decade, do a throwback jersey, slowly building up to your current jersey. So every month, do a decade. So like April is, your old, like you do it. That's your throwback jersey is your normal jersey every single day. And then you want to sell jerseys, then do that. Don't make it a day, make it a month. And then June comes around.
If they want to sell jerseys, how about they make them for less than $180 a piece?
Well, that's a second argument, right? It's that's like, is a college education worth it? And then how much is a college education worth? There's two different arguments, right?
And now with the tariffs, I'm going to be paying more for the jerseys from China. Can you believe that?
Right, from China. That's what he's pointed it straight at you and said, James, you can't be buying these jerseys from China. You need to buy them from the U.S. Pay less.
Yeah, but they're made in China. So it doesn't matter.
The ones you're buying. Yeah.
No, the other ones are made. Believe me, the Nike ones are not being made in the USA.
They need to start making it. That's the thing. They're making it in the USA. That's the tariff. That's the whole point of the tariff.
Yes, I understand the point of the tariffs. Now, let's move on. There is a gentleman who's playing in Los Angeles of Anaheim, who just got his 450th save. A guy named Kenley Jansen. You've heard of this guy, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He just got his 450th save. He is on a very, very nice pace. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Dang, that's a great question. I'm going to go with, I have to say, based upon the numbers, yes.
If you take a look at the all-time numbers for saves, I'll bring it up now. We actually have it at the end of this video. It'll show all the top 10. Alex, if you can go to the very end of the video so we can bring that up.
I'm going with, God, from a number standpoint, yes, he is a Hall of Famer.
It's number 4 right now in saves, and the guys ahead of him are Mariano Rivera, Trevor Hoffman, Lee Smith, and he's right ahead of Craig Kimbrell.
Yes.
He's, you look at the numbers. It's funny because baseball Hall of Fame has always been about the numbers. So based on the numbers, he should be in the Hall of Fame. But we know that writers, for some reason, have a problem with relief pitchers. So I'm asking you, Mr. 69, who, he might have a few more saves than you. Don't get jealous. But 450 saves, that should get you into the Hall.
Well, the problem is, like, if you look at that and go, okay, is Craig Kimbrell a Hall of Famer? And if you're going to go with Kenley Jansen, I think Craig Kimbrell has a probably better argument as played it as, probably, God dang. God, there's a big difference. I mean, Lee Smith, when Lee Smith did it, and Lee Smith had the record for a long time. Yeah. He wasn't a Hall of Famer for a long time. right? He had to get voted in by the Veterans Committee and stuff. Hoffman and Mariano got in easy. K-Rod is not going to be a Hall of Famer most likely. I don't know if 450. The problem is like when you're 450 and the best is 650 and there's 200 in between you and you're only like six, like there's a big gap there. There's a huge gap between him and the top. And that's where I think it is. And again, when you look at his numbers, like his stats, and you look at, okay, cool. Like he was an all-star, what, 3 times?
Something like
4 times
I
in
don't
his
know.
career.
I'll tell you right now.
One Cy Young vote, or one Cy Young voting where he was number 5 in Cy Young, rookie year of the year, number 7. He's got a World Series under his belt. That's my only thing is like, did he separate himself enough years? But like one of these years, he had a 1.8. He's got a 1.88 ERA one year and didn't make an All-Star team. Like, like some of these numbers are just ridiculous. Like
the amount of consistency that he's had over his career. I mean, he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years in a row with 30 or more saves. And then he had a down year where he had 11, and then he came back with 38, 41, 29, last year 27. I mean, this guy just gets it done. His ERA is never terrible. You look at, the win-losses there, that's not egregious, because usually when we all know when a closer doesn't have it, he ends up taking the loss a lot of times. This guy doesn't take a lot of losses. He had 1 year where he had 5 losses, and then in 23 he had 6 losses. That was his career highs. Look at the guy who's been nothing but consistent. What else does a guy need to do to get into the Hall as a closer?
So this is the difference, like him and Craig Kimbrell, right? Craig Kimbrell won Rookie of the Year. He Cy Young voting 5 times, right? 9, 5, 4, 9, 6. He was an All-Star 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-time All-Star, right? So I think that's the difference. I think Kenley has been very good, but very few times did he really separate himself as the best.
Okay, I'm glad that you mentioned that
difference between him and like some of the guys on the list. I'm
glad that you mentioned.
Like K-Rod.
I'm glad that you mentioned. Hold on, I'm sorry to cut you off.
K-Rod had K-Rod. There was a moment of time where he was by far the best reliever in baseball, and it wasn't even close. 62 saves one year, right? Like there's things like that separate some of these other guys.
Okay, but what year was Mariano Rivera the best closer in baseball? Because he was never the best closer in baseball for a particular season. He was just the ultimate consistent guy. He never was the best. He never had the most saves in a season.
Yeah, never had 3 times.
Okay, but he was never far and above the best in his position. There was always someone who came out and was like, for this year, he's better. For next year, this other guy was better.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because he led the league 3 times. He led games finished, most games finished in history. He was Cy Young 3, Cy Young 3, Cy Young 3, Cy Young 2, Cy Young 5, Cy Young 8. I think it's a difference of perception versus that he actually was, because he actually did lead the league in saves 3 different times, games finished. I mean, the best year for Kenley was a pretty much an average year for Mariano. That's the difference.
I don't know. I look at guys like Gagne, who had a Cy Young and had an MVP. I remember guys like Danny Cobb, who went out there and had, 55, 60. K-Rod had 55, 60. Mariano never did that. He was never so far and above. Like, wow,
he had a 53 and a 50. Yeah, he did it. He actually did do it. That's the problem. He actually did do it.
I don't know. There was never a point in my perception of Mariano that he was this year's best reliever.
He had a 1.38 one year, like 67 games. I think a lot of that is the New York media like when he blew a save, talking about how bad he was. No. And it's perception that other guys were stealing it. He was the Mike Trout effect. He was actually the best every single year. It's just the Mike Trout effect becomes once you're the best every year, then that one, like it downplays it. Like, oh, he got 45 saves again.
Guys, if you're watching this video, please go in the comments. Let me know what you think. I don't think that Mariano was ever the best in a particular season. David disagrees. Let us know what you think, because I'm a little flustered right now that David is thinking this way. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, Dave.
But I'm showing you the numbers. That's the thing about it. Like, he led the league three
you're talking
times.
about the numbers.
He had 53 saves one year, led the league in 69 games finished, which is freaking phenomenal. 74 games as a closer is ridiculous. Had a 1.94 ERA, led in almost every single stat, was number 3 in Cy Young voting. Hell, he was number 2. He was number 3 different times. Like, he literally was the best in multiple years.
Okay, I'm going to do something on the fly right now, and I want to see something. So we looked at 2005 when he was Mariano. When he was number 2 in. Sorry, I'm just looking this up. When he was number 2 in Cy Young voting, right?
Yep.
Okay. That year, he came in 4th in saves.
Okay.
I'm not saying that he wasn't great, but
but the year before that, he came in 1st in saves with 10 more. Like, the idea that he was never the best is blown away when you were 3 times that led the league in saves.
All right. Well, you know how he would have been the best? If he went to Top Velocity Pro. If you go to Top Velocity Pro, you can be the best pitcher that you want to be. And how do you do that, David?
Oh, I would have taught him a sinker. That was even better. No, he actually had a sinker. A lot of people think he just threw cutter his whole career. He actually threw sinkers as well. You just didn't know it. No, he'd make you the best pitcher absolutely possible. I could have gotten Kenley a couple more saves.
Wait. How are you going to get Kenley more saves? He's got, 380 more than you do?
And right? Exactly. No, at the end of the day, you want to be the best baseball player you ever possibly want to be, best thrower, dude. Come to Top Velocity Pro. This is what we do. Yes, I might not have as many saves as Kenley, but over the course of my career, but I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. I absolutely one of the very best at this, and come to Top Velocity Pro if you want to be the best you can be.
And you're way better looking than Kenley.
No, without a doubt. Plus, I wasn't a catcher. I mean, best movie ever made was not be a catcher.
All right, fair enough.
You know he was a catcher, right?
Yes, I know he was a catcher.
Yes.
It's so strange how guys come out of nowhere sometimes that were position players and become pitchers. It's so, like,
Jacob DeGrom. Two things usually happen. Two things always happen. One,
you can't hit for shit.
No, there's a player ahead of them.
Oh, okay.
2, they have a ridiculous arm. A lot of times those guys can hit. It's just you're not going to go anywhere. You're not, like, there's no end game. Like, you're not a great hitter. You just can't. You're just not as good as the guy ahead of you. And they know you're not going to. You're just going to sit around. So it's like, all right, let's make you a pitcher. Plus his size and his height and his release point. Like, I can't imagine, like, somebody saying, like, dude, you throw the ball out in front of the plate more than anybody, closer than anybody in baseball. It's crazy.
Yeah. Did you happen to have a chance to watch any of the new show on Netflix called The Clubhouse?
I have not. I've been wanting to. I love the idea of it, though.
Okay, so I watched the first 2 episodes last night and this morning, and it was pretty damn cool, but I have a major, major problem with it. First and foremost, this guy that's on the screen right now, Tristan Casas, oh, man, if he was my teammate, I would hate him. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but his antics, I would just be like, dude, you're not Bo, you're not Manny. Get that. So you see in the first episode, Tristan Casas going into the outfield and sunbathing while doing yoga, and the narrator. I'm sorry?
When?
Before the game.
Like, are other people on the field?
No.
Okay, then who cares?
It's just weird. No, I think there were other people on the field when I'm watching it, but it's just weird. Like, dude, he paints his fingernails. The guy just wants to be weird. He's talking about, like, how the sun nourishes his body. Like, dude, you're not Superman.
I believe it does.
It's
100%. I believe in the sun. I think the worst thing that ever happened to the world during 2020 was tell everybody to go inside. That's what gets people sick.
Okay, regardless, he's just a weird guy. But I don't know the guy at all. But it's truly fascinating. There are some characters on that show. But the big problem, and this is where this was a massive, massive problem for me. They followed the team for 2024. So now we're watching it in the beginning of 2025, and I know what happens. The kid who, oh God, what's his name now? I'm having a mental fart. The kid who has 6 straight opening day home runs with the Baltimore.
O'Neill.
Okay, yeah, Tyler O'Neill. And you're sitting there and you're watching the first episode and you're rooting for him because Tyler O'Neill just hit his 5th home run on opening day, 5 consecutive years. And if I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm like, oh, he's not on the team anymore. And then you're sitting there and you're watching one of the most dynamic young arms in baseball, a guy that I absolutely love. I think he has the same stuff as Pedro Martinez, Brian Bayo in Boston. I love this kid. I love his stuff. I think he's going to be very good. And if it was like Hard Knocks, where you're showing what he did this week and then you're airing it at the end of the week and turning it around, that gives me a reason to follow the Red Sox throughout the year. But now I know what happened because it's all from last year and it's really driving me nuts. Like, I'm not rooting for these guys anymore because I know the outcome. You don't watch baseball games 6 hours after they're over. I mean, very few people TiVo games because they find out what happens. Oh, the Mets lost? I'm not going to go back and watch that. The Mets won? Oh, great. I'm not going to go back and watch that. In this case, you're watching something and you're getting an emotional attachment to some of these guys like Bayo, and oh crap, he didn't have a good year. He had a 4.5 ERA. He had some struggles. So it loses something.
Okay, so I think when you compare it directly to Hard Knocks, yes, there's a lot to be desired there. But I've got no problem with it coming out a year later. I've got no problem. Like, I think that is an incredible starting point. I love the idea that Major League Baseball and Netflix and whoever actually started it and produced it, because they usually do it and then sell it. It might have been the Red Sox and then sold it to Netflix. They started it. They did it. They actually did it. So somebody took the leap. Somebody took the jump and went for it. And I absolutely applaud it. And I love every single thing about it. I hate watching these documentaries on Netflix of like, okay, like we're going to do the 2004 Red Sox. Like, guys,
Yeah,
it was
a
historic team, an amazing moment. There have been movies and documentaries and everything already done about it. I have no desire. I've got so little desire to watch that documentary, though, for Red Sox. And it's got nothing to do with the team or the players and the guys and the team and the history of it. I love every moment of it. I've just seen it 1,000 times. And we've heard it. And like you keep selling the old piece, the old thing, and telling me it's new. Like, it's not. Stop. It's cool. Do it in another 20 years. But this is new. This is great. I get it. It's not Hard Knocks with every week. But somebody jumped out there, went on a limb, brought the cameras in, and actually took a shot at it. I know the Giants in the past did it in like spring training. Cool. That's a great start. This is new. This is relevant. And like that it was last year, fine. To me, it's like a get over it. You have to get over that fact. But because every other documentary, every other thing besides Hard Knocks does it like this, right? The golf show does it, the Drive to Survive. Like, I love the F1. Like, everyone knows exactly what happens in F1. Everyone already knows every storyline, and yet that's one of the most popular shows on TV. Everyone, like, you watch all of it. Like, you're like, yeah, I know. If you're an F1 fan, you already know everything. But you still watch it because you want to get the insight. You want to get behind the scenes. You want to get in the clubhouse. You want to hear the manager. You want to hear the GM. You want to hear how people are speaking. Why did they make that decision? Why did this happen? Learn about Kristen Cassis and that he is a weirdo, and that's totally fine. Be a weirdo, dude. But be your weirdo. Like your own weirdo. And as long as your teammates love you, who cares? I love all of it. Now take this, Major League Baseball. Take this and let's run with it. Let's get the Yankees in spring training and make it live. Make it like just like Hard Knocks, where it's 1 week off, where I am living and dying with this. Now go to Pittsburgh and let's see everything about it. Like, don't leave it up to the players and them doing something in the off season. Like, you own this. Major League Baseball Players Association, own this thing and get cameras in all the clubhouses, as many as you can. Do it like a Hard Knocks style where we're seeing it. Do it during the season where it's like every week You can edit it. Dude, that would be the coolest thing.
Because you're trying to promote the game. And what are you doing when you promote the game? It's not looking back on the game. There's enough going on in baseball history where I can look back. I want to look towards the future. All right, I'm a baseball card collector. If I'm a kid that's watching this show, The Clubhouse, and I see somebody that I really like, let's say I become a friend of Brian Bayo. Now I'm going out buying his baseball cards. I'm buying his
100%.
jersey, and I'm making sure that I go and watch every single game that he starts. Now, with this, you're looking back, oh, Bayo didn't have that great of a year. Should I buy his jersey? No, I want to be excited. I want the same thing that happened with Detroit with Hard Knocks. We've talked about this plenty of times. I'm a fan of Aiden Hutchinson because of what he did. I'm a
St.
fan
Brown.
of
Ron St. Ra or whatever. Like, I am 100%. I'm like in his corner.
Yeah. Dan Campbell, the coach. That guy's freaking awesome.
Only because of Hard Knocks.
Yes. But the difference is we got to get excited about that team. And then because we saw it, now we're like, oh, look what Dan Campbell did. We knew this is the right guy for the job. And I'm not bad-mouthing Alex Cora at all. I love Alex Cora. He's one of the guys that when I was in at MLB.com or MLB Network Radio, if I needed someone to talk intelligently, I'm calling Alex Cora. He's the sweetest guy. There's a reason why he's the manager of the Red Sox and he's never going to lose his job because he's such a great communicator. I don't know if you've had a lot of...
He was my teammate.
With who?
With the Red Sox.
Oh, with the Red Sox. There you go. Is he not just a phenomenal guy?
Loved him. Absolutely loved him.
Yeah, that's why he's a manager. And then I watch this thing, and all I see is Andrew Bailey and what he's doing as a pitching coach. And then I see what Jeremy Hefner is doing, and I'm sitting there like, why isn't Ardsma doing this? You lazy son of a bitch! Go become a pitching coach for someone. And I can be the assistant pitching coach.
Right. I think it's. I love it. I absolutely love it. Just get it more relevant. Get it more keep working on this, get it more relevant. The problem is I don't even know if they're doing another one right now. That's the thing about it. I don't know if I haven't heard anything that they're doing another team. Like, why are we waiting? Why aren't we filming more? Or maybe I'm missing that. Maybe I missed that news. But this should be in multiple clubhouses. Like, how the hell are you not have one in the Dodgers every day? Like, you see these videos from the clubhouse, like during like spring training, and like that cool video of Dave Roberts talking to the team about getting the team going. Like, there needs to be something out there. Don't allow this to have to become like every team doing something on their own and figuring it out. Major League Baseball needs to take this and by the horns. And that's one thing that NFL has over every other sport. They've got everybody rounded up and understand the value of marketing themselves and allowing the NFL to market. And that's what Major League Baseball needs to go steal some people from NFL films and steal people from NFL and say, get these people in line and let's create one entity that we're running this, because Major League Baseball and like their network and everything needs to be on the front line of this.
I wish you weren't busy last night because I was about to text you. I knew you were busy. I was about to say, hey, do you want to watch this first episode together over the phone? Because I would have loved to have gotten your views or did a watch along with it. It would have been a lot of fun. Unfortunately, you were busy. But maybe we can do that for episode 3. You want me to wait to watch episode 3 together with you?
Yeah, because I'll watch I'll start it today.
Yeah, watch number 1 and 2, and then when you get up to number 3, we'll watch it together. Maybe we can even record our reaction because I think that could be fun. All right, we mentioned Kenley Jansen and the Hall of Fame, but will Kenley Jansen be on the Mount Rushmore? We'll find out. My transitions today are pretty baller, I'm not going to lie.
That one was half-half.
Half-half? All right, then you can introduce it next time. Who's your number 1, you jerk?
My number 1 of who? What Hall of Fame? What Mount Rushmore?
Did we not just say we talked about Kenley Jansen and would he make it onto the LA Angels Hall of Fame?
You did not.
All right, then you know what?
You did not say LA. That's what I'm getting at here. You never even announced who it was. So Kenley Jansen might end up being a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, but does he make it to the Los Angeles Angels Mount Rushmore? That's what
I don't know. You tell me. It's your list.
You never told me what team we were doing. You never told the listener, the viewer, what team we're doing. So I had to do it myself. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, of Southern California, of Disney.
All right. Let's start with number one. And if anybody doubts that Mike Trout is going into the Hall of Fame, let me know. I'll come over there and I'll hit you over the head with a tack hammer because you're a retard.
Yeah. What are we gonna say here? 3-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, MVP number 2, 1, 2, 3, 3-time number 2 and number 4. Mr. Baseball, Mr.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Everything.
whoa, whoa, whoa. He is not Mr. Baseball. There's only
I
one
get it.
Mr. Baseball.
Tom Selleck, I know.
No, Bob Uecker.
Well, I'll
No.
give you that.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
I do think Mr. Baseball, Tom Selleck is one of the God, such a great movie. But Mike Trout, what are you going to say about Mike Trout? I mean, he's everything. He's the best player of our generation. What are you going to say?
Yeah.
What else is there to say? Like he, if healthy over the course of his career, was borderline on the way to becoming like the Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmores. He unfortunately in these his 30s has broken down.
Yeah. The only thing you could say about Mike Trout is how in the hell did they have Trout and Ohtani and they still couldn't win?
Right, exactly.
That's just
And Pujols, they put too much money in the Pujols basket and didn't build a team and yada yada yada. 380. Let's hit the numbers. 381 home runs, 298 batting average. He is the greatest player in Angels history by far, and it's not even close. And he really, I mean, it's just his numbers are just absolutely ridiculous.
Okay. Up next, we will talk about a player who got kicked in the face by his wife.
Nope, no, he didn't.
Oh, no, sorry, that's the wrong Finley. My bad. That was Steve Finley. But Chuck Finley is a guy that you want to put into the Mount Rushmore. Why?
Okay, one, let's just say this pretty quick. The Angels get pretty thin, pretty fast for like historic players over the course of their careers. But at the end of the day, as far as an Angel is concerned, probably the best pitcher while an Angel in their history. I'm going to say that, trying to be very clear about that.
Yeah.
While being an Angel, he was probably the because he's an all-time leader in starts, wins, innings pitched, and just like basically everything on leaderboard as far as an Angel, he's the man. He went over 200 innings 8 different times. 13 complete games in 93, 14 seasons out of his 17 of his career were as an Angel. Led the league in starts one year and wins one year, or complete games one year. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he had this incredible, crazy, great career, but he was very good. 200 and 173 over the course of his career. He was a very good pitcher, and you knew what you were getting every single time he stepped on that mound.
Up next, the fish buffet continues. We already talked about Trout. Now it's time for Tim Salmon.
Tim Salmon was the manager of my kid's high school for a long time at Scottsdale Christian here, Arizona boy, but absolutely synonymous with being an Angel. Won the World Series there, was just an incredible player from the moment he came on the scene as Rookie of the Year. Just a great baseball player, just a stud. Like, he intimidating at the plate, even though he never hit more than 34 home runs. But like, you just saw him at the plate and you're like, dude, this dude was a monster. Overall, just a very good hitter. Ended up at 282 batting average over the course of his career, almost 300 home runs, 299 home runs. Very good player. And again, one of the cornerstone players of that Angels World Series team. What's crazy is so many of those players that were like the core guys were Angels for a long time.
Yep.
And then they slowly built that team together, and it came together when they're all like 30s and not like, it's so funny because like it took a while and then they all hit and won that World Series.
Up next, the worst trade in Mets history, Nolan Ryan.
What was the trade?
Was it Jim Fregosi?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
I'm
not sure. I am not sure.
I've got it mentally checked out on that one. But
yeah, it's fine. So understand here, the whole point of this and what's cool is like you can only be on one Mount Rushmore. So Nolan Ryan, I got a lot of grief for not being on the Astros Hall of Fame. or an Astros Mount Rushmore. He was very good for the Astros. Incredible for the Astros. There were other pitchers and other guys that were probably better as Astros over the course of their careers. It's just he played for too many goddamn teams. You were talking about the Mets, Angels, Astros, Rangers. He could have been on multiple Mount Rushmores. You only get to pick one. Dude, there was, from a competition standpoint, he's easily one of the best Angels of all time, even though he spent not a whole lot of years there. But dude, he was just absolutely amazing. Cy Young 3, Cy Young 2, Cy Young 8, Cy Young 3, as an Angel. This is where he came out. Like, this is where he hit his stride running. And he became the dude we knew he was. And that's the thing about it, is the moment he got to, he had 137 strikeouts as a Met in 1971. The next year he had 329, then 383, 367, 186, 327, 341. Like, all of the years that he led the league initially in strikeouts were Angels. And like, that's the turning point of his entire career, was being an Angel.
Yeah. All right. Up next, who do you have as your next guy in? And by the way, Jim Fregosi was traded for Nolan Ryan.
Was it?
Correct about that? Yeah.
Speaking of Jim Fregosi, I have a tie between Jim Fregosi, who actually probably earned this spot, and Shohei Ohtani, who unicorned his way into this spot. Jim Fregosi and Shohei Ohtani tied. It's just the thing about Ohtani, he did not have as much impact from a team standpoint over the course of a career. I mean, Fregosi played 11 years as an Angel, like 1,400 times, like games, like he hit. I mean, he did everything, was a great player for the Angels. I don't want to downplay that. Ohtani has changed the game, and Ohtani did that as an Angel. He has transcended baseball and become a figure in his own way, and so he's become the unicorn as an Angel. And for me, that, like, for him going to go in the Hall of Fame as a Dodger, he will always still be an Angel.
Yeah, that's why I would have put him in the Mount Rushmore for the Angels, not the Dodgers. Because, quite frankly, you look at him, he's got 3 MVPs. He's got an MVP 2. He's got a Rookie of the Year, all as an Angel. First
2 MVPs as an Angel.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say 3? 3 MVPs overall, 2 as an Angel, 1 second place, and a Rookie of the Year. I think if we did this after 12 years of his career, we would probably say he's an Angel. I'm guessing.
If he had stayed as an Angel for 12 years?
No. If I'm saying after 12 years of Ohtani's career, so if we did this in 4 years and we had 6 years of Angels, 6 years of Dodgers, I think we would say that he's an Angel more than a Dodger.
I think his numbers will be so far past as a Dodger than they were as an Angel. I think it'll be just so far past it. And at the end of the day, impactful Angel was only those 3 years. His impact was only 3 years as an Angel. And that's where I have a hard time comparing him to a Nolan Ryan, who became all world as an Angel. Tim Salmon, who brought him to a World Series and played 14, 17 years. Chuck Finley, who's leading the Angels in every stat as a pitcher, and Mike Trout. I don't think he breaks that list. Now, if he plays 2 more years as an Angel, he's on the list. He doesn't break that list for me. Even the 2 MVPs are incredible, but it's the Tim Lincecum effect. Like, you only played 9 years. Like, okay, how do you compare him to somebody who played there 17 years and blows him away statistically? That's my problem.
It'll be interesting to see, once he has 6 years with the Dodgers, 6 years with the Angels, what you would consider it. That's all I'm saying. In 4 years, we're going to have this conversation again, and I want to know what you think.
I don't think it'll be remotely close. I think you'll be incredibly surprised by how far and away his stats will be. I think you take 3 years as a Dodger and you compare it to his 6 as an Angel, I don't think it'll be close.
Before we get to your guy that's on the team right now that could make it in, I got a couple of names, and you tell me how far off they are from getting there. Jim Edmonds?
No, nowhere even close.
All right, here's a guy that people forget about that I think is far more important than Angels history that they don't talk about. Garrett Anderson.
Yes, he would be way closer than Jim Edmonds. Jim Edmonds was a Cardinal who became a couple years of greatness, a couple years with the Angels. Garrett Anderson to me and Tim Salmon were close. Tim Salmon played a lot more there and had a lot more of a longer term impact. I think when you ask an Angels fan, Garrett Anderson's name will come up, but when you throw those four out there, they'll be Garrett Anderson or Tim Salmon as an Angel. Garrett Anderson had the peak, Salmon had the career.
And I said it when we did the A's baseball club. I still think of Reggie. I must kill the queen.
Yes.
Sorry.
That might be, without a doubt. And Reggie might be known for a couple other teams over the Angels. Great time. He was a great Angel. Just didn't play there long enough.
Yeah, the Angels are kind of like the Mets where they have some guys in there. You know what? I'll tell you about this as soon as we're done. I just want to get to your last guy. Who's the guy who's on the team?
Zach Neto.
Okay.
Zach Neto, stud, young, absolute stud. Last year is kind of coming out year. I mean, the dude had a 5 WAR last year. He's a great baseball player. I think he needs to bat the ball contact a little bit better. He strikeouts, 140 strikeouts last year and 602 at bats or plate appearances. A little too many strikeouts for him. It should be a little bit. You knock that down a little bit. 250 batting average. Let's pump that up. Those are rookie numbers. And that's exactly what they were, rookie numbers. Great young ball player though, 24 years old this year. Great ball player. Let's just let's be you, dude.
Yeah. So I've been having this little problem. I'm done with my Ohtani collection of cards. I've got 26 Ohtani rookies. I'm good. All of them graded 9 or above. I've got all my Ken Griffey, every Ken Griffey Jr. rookie that's ever been made, I have it. And I have some select Griffey cards that I absolutely love. Yeah. Oh, the card that I gave you for Christmas. I see it.
Yes.
Cool. So I decided now I want to start with my Wall O Mets. And I'm having a big problem with this because so I'll tell you who I have on the wall of Mets, and you'll agree that they're all, like great Mets to a certain extent. Zach Wheeler, Matt Harvey.
Well, I have the entire wasn't a great Met, but a great ball player.
What's that?
Wheeler was not a great Met.
Well, anyway, I'm putting them down as the 2015 rotation, the greatest Mets rotation in history. 100%. So I've got Cologne, I've got Harvey, I've got all of them autographed. Harvey, Syndergaard, Jacob deGrom, I've got all of them. And then I have Darryl Strawberry, Dwight Gooden, I have Mike Piazza, I have Gary Carter. Now, this is where it gets tricky. After those guys, give me a great Met. The only one I can think of that I don't have is Beltran, because when he goes into the Hall, he's going to go in as a Met. But everybody else was just there for a little bit of time. Or, for example, there were great players that were Mets. Willie Mays, not a Met, even though I have that card. I'm not going to put a Yogi Berra Mets card over there. Can you think of someone that I can add to the Mets collection? Because there's very few guys that are Mets.
Very few
and that's
guys
what the Angels are like.
Obviously, well, you got David Wright.
I have David Wright.
Okay, is that on that DeGrom? He's in that 15. Kuzman.
I don't have a Kuzman. That's a good one. A little before my
Eduardo time. Alfonso.
So that's my buddy Tommy's favorite player. But again, all-time great player.
It gets thin so fast. I mean, like you're looking at. I'm looking at a list I use. Jose Reyes. Like it gets.
I have Reyes
quick, but again, like, I mean, Leiter was a good Met.
He's on my list.
Hojo.
See, here's the problem. The next man up is a guy that I personally can't stand. A guy that if I had the opportunity, I would spit in his face, and that's Keith Hernandez.
He did spit. He was the spitter, by the way. Mookie. I mean, Keith, Keith is, obviously, like Mookie, David Cone.
They're not all-time great players.
No. And it gets really like, Bud Harrelson.
Thanks to you, I got to meet Bud.
Dude, it gets thin really fast.
And there's not a single David Wright Mets card David Ardsma Met card out there. So I can't even put you there. I would.
People send me cards of the Mets and I'm like, that's not a real card. Like, I'll sign it, but it's not a real card.
Wait, do you have any of those?
People make them, Mike. People making themselves.
But do you have any of them?
Yeah, but they're other people's. I probably see all that right there. That's all baseball cards I have to sign. Like I need to open them up.
Okay, well, if you have a Mets card of you, even if it's
Steal one.
made up, I want it.
Should I put like I'll put like one of my personal ones in there and then like steal the Mets card.
Yeah, exactly.
People do the Yankees one. So when I got traded or I got signed by the Yankees from the Mariners, somebody took my Mariners photo, photoshopped it into the Yankees, and that's what they use on the website. But they screwed up on like my hat and head size. Like it's all messed up. It makes you look like I don't know. I can't say the word anymore. Doesn't make me look like a normal human being. It looks horrible.
You look like a
And they
mongoloid.
used it. The Yankees used it. And it was just like nobody ever, someone looked at that and went, yeah, that must be what it looks like. And not looked at like the day before and after. And people send me that card. Like, and they made the card out of that. And they send it. And I'm like, I look brutal. And then you go through photo day and stuff. Because I missed photo day when I first signed with the Yankees. They told me not to come.
Hey, ugly
they told
ass,
me not
stay
to come
home.
to spring training. I signed. We agreed to a deal, but shook hands, didn't sign it, and they said we'll sign after spring training so we could put you on the 40 the DL. And then they realized they could put me on, but photo day had already happened and everything. So then I come to spring training, missed the first whole photo day, which I wasn't going to be a Yankee until like August. September anyways. But then the next year I made photo day and that's all the photo they use. So that one kind of disappeared. But when I find that, we will put it on the show along with my Mets card.
Awesome. And with that being said, I'm James. He's David. We'll talk to you next time.